So, hey guys, as promised, we've got Aiden Markram with us. I'm giving you some exclusive content, heading into the Sri Lanka series. Now, I'm really excited to speak to Aiden. It's always a catch up session with him. So, we're going to go straight into the conversation today. Welcome to the show again, Aiden. Good to see you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And what is it like to be in Sri Lanka now with the team all training again ahead of the series?
Yeah, thanks, Khalid. It's been good, thanks. It's nice and warm here. But all in all, I think we've been here now for at least 5 or 6 days, so it's been good. I think the training's been good. All in all, bubble life, everything's been fine so far, so can't complain about much.
Now, obviously, we know it's preparations for the World Cup, but that's for the T20s. But let's talk a little bit first about the ODIs, your ODI game, etc. You've obviously been working hard on it, trying to get to the same level as you've been in the tests and the T20s. Can you give me some insight into what you've done mentally with regards to your ODI game, some of the struggles that you faced and how you're going to be overcoming them, how you've been working to overcome them?
Yeah, I think generally, sort of the role that I've been given now is a bit more clearer to me. Look, that's on my shoulders, so I understand it better. Let's put it that way. So that hopefully is going to help. Obviously, there's no guarantees. I think in the past I got frazzled quite quickly out in the middle. I think you speak about the new way people play white ball cricket now and not wanting to tap the ball around for too long. And as you've seen in the world, people get on with it quite quickly nowadays. And it works for some and it doesn't always work for everyone. And I think I've learned that now the hard way. I think it's now about spending a bit more time out there, understanding that towards the back end you can catch up. And then at the end of the day, hopefully, it's pretty much just with a strike rate that you finish at. It doesn't mean you have to be at that strike rate for your whole innings, if that makes sense. So that's probably one of the biggest learnings I've taken. So it'll definitely be about spending a bit more time at the crease, obviously not in any negative way, but taking it a little bit deeper, obviously putting the team into a strong position before trying to take the game on and not taking it on too early like I have before.
How's it, Aiden? Welcome to the show again. My question to you is, players often talk about intensity being the difference between domestic red ball cricket and test cricket. What is the difference between domestic white ball cricket and international cricket?
Look, I think naturally in the international stage, you definitely don't get that many bad balls. So often it's the risks that you're taking are slightly more high risk because the bowler's often hitting their mark. So you have to make a move off pretty much good balls the whole time. So that's probably the biggest difference between the two, I would say. But I still think the fundamentals in terms of a game plan, that all still stays the same. And I think it might have been where I got it wrong in the past, like I mentioned earlier. At franchise level, I've always been happy to take it deep. Like you mentioned, obviously being at the right intensity. So I'm always looking to score, but wanting to be there towards the back end, at least the second half of the innings. Because that ultimately means the team's in a much better position than trying to take the game on maybe just outside of the power play. So I would say being able to, you definitely have to have slightly more options, I think, at international level. Not to say that you have to use all of them, but just to know as the player that if you have to revert to something else, you're confident enough to do so. And I think in the past as well, I was quite limited in terms of options, so that was quite one-dimensional from my side. So that's what we've been trying to work on. Let's call it the last 12 to 18 months, is developing those options and becoming confident enough to play them if needs be in the middle. So I feel like we're at that stage now, or we're very close to that stage. Like I say, no, there's no guarantees, but at least there's been a bit of progress, and I certainly won't feel stuck as quick at the crease, or I hope not. But like I say, there's no guarantees. But at least there's been a bit of growth and slightly more options that we've experimented with. So hopefully, if needs be, we're confident enough and can execute them on the day.
In comparison to South Africa, where the ball comes on a bit better, there's more pace in the wicket. Sri Lanka is likely to be the sort of environment where 260 or 270 might be a winning score as opposed to 340 or 350, and conditions might be a bit more challenging. Cricket will be slower. So how do you, as an opener, how do you adapt your game to these conditions, particularly in white ball cricket?
Look, I think naturally in the power play, it actually is probably the best time to bat generally. Yeah, if I look back on what the stats have said, so you don't want to neglect that phase of the game. I think it's important to, like you've mentioned earlier, to really be at a high intensity during that power play to make sure if you beat the field, you're getting four and getting the team off to I wouldn't say a super fast start, but ultimately, if it's the nicest time to bat, you might have to look for the odd boundary here or there, because, like you said, everything suggests that it's probably going to get tougher throughout the innings. And then I think it ties into what I mentioned just now about taking it a bit deeper. I think in these conditions, you don't want to find yourself 15, 20 overs left of your innings and you're already 5-6 down. I think you'd rather try to delay those risk-taking options and sort of back yourself to score your runs at the end, even though the wicket's going to be tougher and the ball's probably going to be softer. At least if you've got your batters in, we as a team are giving ourselves the best chance. So that's probably the approaches that we've been speaking about that we hopefully can take forward in these conditions. It's by no means going to be easy. I think, like you've mentioned, it is the conditions are quite polar opposite to what we get back at home, but it's an exciting challenge. The guys have been working hard on, like I mentioned, a lot of different options, growing their games and ultimately being confident to tap into those options if need be on game day. So it's going to be an exciting challenge, but definitely a challenge that the guys have given their best in terms of preparation to try to do well.
Excellent. So we've seen you now in all formats. T20s is now being somewhere where you've really excelled as well, similarly to in Test cricket. I want to know a little bit about your T20 game and what sort of messages have you gotten from the captain as well as from the coach about the way you guys approached this last T20 series before the World Cup?
I think naturally Timber's been brilliant since he's taken over in terms of really encouraging the brand of cricket that he wants to play. It's been very clear. So for us as batters, that's been it provides a lot of clarity for us in terms of developing game plans. So that's helped quite a bit. Naturally, the brand of cricket is super positive, looking to take the game on as much as we can, but also having that clever side to it and being quite streetwise as well. So I think you look back at the West Indies series, it wasn't a 200 score. The surfaces weren't allowing for that. So, and I think it might be something similar here. So you almost got to be as positive as you can be in whatever conditions that you get given. So some days it might be a wicket where you can hopefully just walk in and bolt it, and other days 60 or 45 might be the positive match-winning knock. So those are the conversations that's coming from the coach and from Temba, which I think if you look at how the guys have adapted in, especially a place like West Indies, a guy like Quinton, able to pretty much delay pulling the trigger and really taking the innings quite deep just to get us to a decent score instead of us being bowled out for 120, 130 and at least scraping to 160 and giving our bowlers something to work with. So I think those are the discussions we're having. For me personally, it's I just focus a lot on my intensity at the crease when I'm playing T20 cricket. So against each bowler, identifying one or two boundary options off that bowler, obviously granted that the conditions allow me to play that shot, and if it's not there, really trying to get one or two if it's not in that area to find the boundaries. So it often sounds a lot easier when you speak about it here. It's
Yeah.
obviously tougher out in the middle. But at least, like I say, at least there's clarity in terms of game plans and what's expected of us as players from Temba and from the coach himself.
Are there any white ball players that you look up to or that you've tried to model your game on over the years?
Look, I think obviously there's been a lot of white ball cricket, and it's almost like the flavour that people are enjoying, especially now with T20 World Cups back to back and then a 50-over World Cup. So there's a lot. I think a guy that I related very well to was Faf when he was in the squad and around us, because we spent a lot of time together, and just picking his brain in terms of how to read a game, sort of when to take your risk, when to maybe delay it a bit, those sorts of discussions. But I think, you speak to the guys that have played international cricket for a while, or guys that have been involved with the IPL for a few years, and they're often speaking about matchups. So you pick your matchup on the day, the one that you fancy obviously as a batter, but that also makes sense given conditions and the situation of the game. And if it's time and it's time for you to take your matchup on, at least it's been calculated almost before the game has started. So those are the things that have helped a lot in terms of it. And I can't put a player to it, but Faf has helped a lot. I think just watching a guy like Quinton in the West Indies series, I certainly learned a lot from his ability to just, like I've mentioned, take it so much deeper. And then chatting to him after the game and saying, but he knew with our bowling attack, if we got over 155, 160, we're definitely in the game. Whereas he didn't want to get out, and then, like I say, you get to 130 and you fall short. But in maybe in that last over of trying to defend it. So those guys have helped quite a bit. But in terms of, it's quite difficult to signal out one player. But those two have helped a bit, and just watching them and having chats with them has helped me a bit as well.
So finally, from me, Aiden, we did a little tribute yesterday. A legend of the game has retired from the game, and Dale Steyn, what an amazing person, what an amazing cricketer. I would like to hear from you, just a little tribute from your side, and what you've learned from him in the time that you've spent with Dale. What have you learned from him, and a few words for him?
Look, I think from a cricket side of things, he's pretty much achieved everything. He's been number one fast bowler in the world for multiple years, back to back to back. But it's more the person side of things that was the best part of Dale, and I think you've probably heard it from a lot of people as well. I think he was this mean fast bowler, which he was, but off the field, completely opposite. So I remember sort of starting in the environment, and it would be tough to get on with a guy like Dale because of just what you see on the TV. And in actual fact, he was the easiest guy, and probably, I think, one of the first guys that actually came and welcomed me and sat me down and had a chat. So I think that's just testament to the type of person he is. He was extremely humble whenever we were around, whenever we were together. And he's just a very caring person. So I think the change room has been missing him over these past few years that he hasn't been around. And we obviously wish him all the very best in what he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to be surfing and fishing quite a bit. But he's missed already. And now that he's officially retired, obviously he'll certainly be missed. Most definitely in the change room and off the field, and obviously for his ability on the field.
So guys, that's our interview with Aiden. Aiden, thanks a lot for coming on the show and giving us your time. I know it's right on top of of the series right now, so thanks a lot for giving us your time. To everybody out there, thanks for watching. Just click the eye on the top right of the screen to get your free issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine, and all back issues are free too. So all you need to do is put your email address in and subscribe. So click the eye on the top of the screen to do so, and also subscribe to this channel. Click the notification bell for all future videos. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys again for another episode of the Daily Show, as well as a review of the series of the first match and the first ODI. Good luck, Aiden, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers, Khalid. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
So, guys, That's our interview with Aiden. Aiden, thanks a lot for coming on the show and giving us your time. I know it's right on top of of the series right now, so thanks a lot for giving us your time. To everybody out there, thanks for watching. Just click the eye on the top right of the screen to get your free issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine, and all back issues are free too. So all you need to do is put your email address in and subscribe. So click the eye on the top of the screen to do so, and also subscribe to this channel. Click the notification bell for all future videos. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys again for another episode of the Daily Show, as well as a review of the series of the first match and the first ODI. Good luck, Aiden, and we'll speak to you very soon.